right, can everyone hear me? Side chat? Good, good, good. Sorry about being a little bit late. We had a issue with the TV. My kid watches cartoons in the morning. It was doing this little flicker thing. So, of course, whenever there's a problem, the wife calls the husband to solve it. And I went in there with my expertise and I approached the TV. And she said, "Babe, I don't know how to fix this problem." I said, "Don't worry. I got it." Went there, turned it off, waited a couple seconds, turned it on. Boom. Boom. That was my next go-to, George. When in doubt, smack it a little bit. Yep, that's, when in doubt, smack it a little bit and it works. But I saved the day. Happy about it. But welcome back to the live room, guys. As you can see, we're back on the new version of Click Meeting, which we actually don't like the new version. But they have not responded to our emails about switching us back to the old version. I think maybe we're not the only ones, but we like the old version better. So hopefully we can get things rocking. Chris says, "I like you like the new version or the old version better, Chris?" The new, yeah. I'll tell you this: the new version. I don't mind the side chat, but I'm also not chatting. From my view, I have a different view than what you guys see. It makes it a little bit easier for me to read. It is less lag. But the problem that we ran into is we of course, we used it during a live event, and we had so much trouble switching between presenters. That was the main problem. So we did a live workshop. I think it was the last workshop, if you guys remember, where like it had to go from me to Darren to Jason, and it was like we had to restart and blow up and rebuild a computer each time. So, but yeah, deal with it until we get it fixed. I apologize if you guys like and you did guys say, you mentioned the chat got laggy when a lot of people got on. But anyway, we've got some interesting markets. First, I was going to ask you guys what you thought about the event I guess we will start with that. What did you guys think about Sunday's event? Your feedback is the most important feedback, and I know I got some already. Chris chimed in, Naomi chimed in. But if you guys were able to make it, what did you guys think? Silence. Nice taster. Have we started? No sound, no screen. Jessica says, was good taste, keen to watch the rest. Yeah, looks extensive. Yeah, I mean, the goal is this, Jessica. I mean, it's nothing, I don't want to say it's nothing new, but it's basically, my goal was, I noticed that there were some, and from you guys, you brought a lot of questions into Q&As about kind of just the stuff that needed to be re-taught, or maybe stuff that wasn't taught, that kind of bridges the gap between like the basics of trading and technical analysis and reading a price chart and actually developing like a trading strategy. So that was kind of the goal, to maybe bridge that gap, mainly focus on the fact that, trends within trends was a major one. There were, a lot of questions between the last year about different types of structure, inside versus outside structure. So I kind of put together a good module on inside and outside structure and what structure is more important per the trader. And then I think what I'm going to do, the one I have to do now is entry, stops, and targets. I don't think we have we lay out entry, stops, and targets for the most part per our mastery course. But I want to do a general section just talking about the different types, because I believe you can use any entry for any different trading opportunity. So lay out a section that fully focuses on the general aspect of how to do this type of entry and whatnot. So again, that's why I called it Bridging the Gap. Charles came up with that awesome name. I had a more complicated name like a macro look at the blah, 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 trying to sound professional and whatnot. But hopefully it's a gap filler. So I don't want to say it's new information. For many of you guys, it will be new information. But for you guys that have been with us for since the beginning, I don't want to say it's new information. I would say it's new kind of small edges. Hopefully it's small little things that you kind of knew, but maybe you didn't know the importance of it. And little edges that you can take and implement without changing your whole philosophy into your trading right now. So that's the goal, at least. We'll see. Yeah, deeper into certain parts, like why look at this, more kind of stuff based off experience instead of just a general broad technical look of like higher high, higher close. So we'll see. Jesse, I think it's a good idea. You would have learned a lot of how we think after the Q&As. Yeah, and that's the point. That's why we do all this. If you notice from a business perspective, right? Our philosophy here at Tier 1 Trading is to provide value. I think that should be the philosophy of everyone out there. For you guys that are out there growing businesses and doing podcasts and YouTube channels, if you want to grow that stuff, you need to provide value. These days, everyone is focused on getting likes, right? How many likes can I get? And you kind of orchestrate what you post by how many likes you think you'll get, right? And that's not necessarily the best thing that provides value, right? If you are a handsome gentleman like myself and you put up a shirtless picture of yourself all oiled up and greased up after being in the gym, you're probably going to get a lot of likes. Have you provided any value? Not necessarily, aside from maybe some stalker out there that likes to see that type of thing. But what you would do is this. I mean, if you did the same thing, but if you provided a message. So let's say George did a picture like that. 'Cause I know George is lifting, or at least, are you back lifting, George? You said you took a week off, right? So let's say George is back at it. He posts that same picture, but now in the description box below, maybe he gives something of, hey, this is what I did today, and this is why I did it, right? Some type of tip. Now he's providing value, right? Now he's not just showing you this shirtless picture. He's saying, hey, this is what I did, this is why I do it, and someone else out there that's interested in fitness, right? And Jessica's the same way, interested in fitness. Now they've learned something. You've provided value, and when you provide value, it often rewards you in discussions. When you get rewarded in discussions, you kind of find out what people want and what people don't want. And a philosophy for me in life is basically do more of what works and do less of what doesn't work. So the way we set it up is we use you guys to create content. Same thing with my podcast. I use all the questions I get on the internet to kind of figure out, hey, what do people want to know about? And I create podcast content about it. And so that's what we've done here. And the goal is to be a better educator. So whenever we, just like Darren and yesterday's money management thing, we're always probing to see, hey, what do you guys like? What do you don't like? What can we do better? And hopefully, we're able to put together something that is better and is valuable to you guys. So the Q&As were so valuable because sometimes you get a one-off question where it's like, hey, blah, 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 and it's one person asking it, and that's fine. But when you start to get the same question or see the comments, and this is why it's so important that you guys leave comments like, hey, I was thinking that too, or this too, then it makes sense. So like Chris, I believe it was you that, we have a lot of Chris's, I believe it was Chris K, that commented under Naomi's post yesterday. Chris Mob, yeah. And when I read Naomi's feedback, and Naomi's an interesting character, right? We chat a lot with Naomi, a lot of things, but I'm like, maybe this is a one-off thing. Maybe this is just Naomi and confusion. But then when you see other people chiming on, it's like, oh, well, you know what? This could be a common thing. And that helps us a lot. So I also have to create a new chapter because of that, or a new training because of you guys. So whatever. But yeah, glad you guys like it. I'm going to get started on it today. I gave about 48 hours to get feedback. And hopefully, again, the goal will be to have it up to you guys this weekend, knock on wood. So aside from that, man, busy time in the markets, anyone? Sheesh. Brexit? The pound? What happened to the pound? Will it ever come back? Is it dead forever? This year's theme, right? When we look back and remember 2019, we're going to remember two things: low volatility, short the pound. Low volatility, short the pound. This is going to be one of those things. I forgot the original year, but I think it was like 2009, 2008, and I was just like, hey, just short euro or short the dollar, short the US dollar. But it's been incredible. And we have another busy news week ahead of us. If we just click through the week, so this is another week that you may want to pay very close attention to. We have consumer confidence coming out today for the dollar. We also have the first day of our Fed meeting. Tomorrow is an expected interest rate cut, right? Cut, C-U-T, interest rate cut here in the U.S. We haven't cut rates since 2008, 9, somewhere around there, right in the beginning stages of my trading. Because I remember I got involved right during the recession. So that's going to be big. We also have a non-farms week. So we have an interest rate cut tomorrow on Wednesday. And then we come right back with a non-farms on Friday. And believe we have some news for the pound as well. Bank of England inflation report, yep. Monetary policy summary, official bank rate, which I don't think we need to worry about, but Carney speaking on Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, big days in the market. Now, do I tell you this to scare you? No, but you need to be aware. Need to be aware that it's going to be, for lack of a better term, a war zone. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So be aware of that. Also, if you guys get a chance, Jason Stapleton did a good podcast yesterday. His podcast it's not the Jason Stapleton program anymore. It's called, I always get this wrong. Is it Wealth, Power, and Influence, or Power, Influence, and Wealth? I think it's Wealth, Power, Influence. We did a good podcast episode yesterday just talking about kind of the overall economic situation we're at in the world. If you get a chance, I think it's worth checking out just to be more informed. And many people, I shared the link yesterday, and it's cool because you have two mindsets, right? So whenever you hear something about this economic collapse and we're all doomed and the markets are going to fail and blah blah blah, right? Half the people start to panic. I would say 80% of people start to panic, right? This is a massive opportunity. Yep, George had it right. This is a massive opportunity. Think about it like this, from an investment standpoint. This is essentially equivalent of, if you're imagining the market's failing, this is you going into the supermarket or your favorite store. And this is seeing all of the prices dropped. %80 of people are going to panic. The other 20% of people are going to take advantage and they're going to start buying stuff up. Right? I listened to a podcast, a keynote speech by Gary Vee yesterday, and he said he still goes yard sailing. Any of you guys know what yard sailing is? If you guys are new, we're going to get into the charts in a little bit. There's not too much on my radar, but I think this is important. You guys know what yard sailing is? You guys have yard sales where people they sell stuff from their house. They sit outside on their lawn and they sell. Yeah, he says he still goes yard sailing, and he goes yard sailing it's stuff that people want to get rid of. So automatically, right, when people want to get rid of it, do you think it's going for a good or a bad price? In the real estate business, we call this a motivated seller. We got our house overpaid. Well, we underpaid for it, but overpaid for what we wanted to buy for a house. We got it because it was a motivated seller. It was an older couple. The husband was already in an elderly home. The wife had this massive house all to herself, and she wanted to get out, right? You think that was good or bad for us buying the house? Do you think we had to overpay or underpay? Yeah, we got to underpay. We got it $50,000 cheaper because they were very motivated. She wanted to leave because she was already out, right? Same thing with a yard sale. People are out there trying to get rid of stuff. So he says he still goes yard sailing. He goes around, he'll buy something. He'll buy it for $1, right? Just an example. And then he'll go back and resell it on eBay or Facebook Market, something like that, for like $8. Right? He's buying it cheap. The markets are going to be the same way. I got started in, and this is why I question whether I was a good stock investor or not. I got started with investing right during the recession. 2007 is when I got started. Right? So I was in, I guess I was in the very end of like a bull market, and then things started crashing. Right? So I made a little bit of money on the way up when things were normally priced, and then things got cheaper. And I did a lot of research in my investments, and I, you know, it's not trading where you're a mercenary or you're just trying to buy when it's going up and sell when it's going down. Investment is longer term, right? You're trying to look for quality products, quality companies that will stand the test of time, or at least the time period in which you plan on investing them in, right? So I had solid companies that I think, hey, these ones aren't going anywhere. Kind of like your blue chips, for example. Blue chips aren't going anywhere, most of them. So when everyone panics and let's say Apple is $200 and the stock price drops to $100, what should you be thinking? My gosh, I can buy twice as much as I could before, right? I can buy twice as much as I could before. If I can only afford 20 shares at $200, I can get 40 shares now. Apple's not going anywhere. Is Apple not going to rebound? So it's an opportunity, and I don't know when this massive crash is going to happen. I thought it was going to happen for years and years and years ago, and it doesn't. But if you have the time and you're smart, I would keep a cushion. If for you guys that are investors, I would keep a cushion. I would keep an eye on a set amount of stocks, or just maybe a single stock that you plan, or an index that you plan on investing in. And when the time comes, I would look to get in. And there are going to be some massive opportunity. I mean, look at the market now. How long have we been going up for? Shoot, 2019, right? There's going to be an opportunity. And that's a positive for those who are investors, to buy it really, really cheap. Get in at the bottom or close to the bottom. It's okay if it goes down. Eventually things will turn around. Things will start rushing up. The general public will stop panicking, and then they'll start trying to get in on the cheapness, and that will flood more money into it. That will increase the value of what you already bought, and you'll be in for a pretty good ride there. So busy week, busy week, busy week, busy week. All right. So let's get started today. I was going to start on the pound dollar. Is that okay with you guys? If you guys have a place you want to start off right away, let me know. But I was going to go pound dollar first, if that's okay. Because the pound dollar has it's been a little bit active. It's been slightly active, right? So we broke out of our wedgie pattern. You guys remember this bad boy? I know it seems like ages since you've been in the live room, but we broke out of our wedge pattern. Now, this is a neutral pattern. However, we anticipated a move to the downside for two reasons. What are those two reasons? And by the way, if you guys are brand new, just give me a yes. I'm bad with introductions, and I really should introduce and say what you're doing here so we don't get lost. So while you guys are answering the question of why did we anticipate a breakout to the downside, welcome new live room members. Aside from the rants that you just heard that will go on randomly, this is a live trading room where we focus on swing trading and day trading. It's not just a day trading room, but the idea is to take you through the markets, analyze them, and give you a look at how I look for trading opportunities, and give you really a practical example of how to use what you're learning in the course. It's a very interactive room. It's not just me talking and telling you what to do. It's a lot of discussion. I look at it as a learning opportunity, and a chance for you guys to see the process in which I go through: identify, predict, decide, execute. When you're new, it may seem kind of fast in here. The terminology may be a little bit different if you're not used to us here at Tier 1. But you'll notice that after about 10 days or so, it starts to normalize, mainly because I do the same thing on each and every chart every single day, and the speed will start to slow down. But if it is fast and you have questions, don't be shy. This isn't a trading forum where you're going to get yelled at, unless you ask a really stupid question like, Akil, I bought the pound dollar and I didn't know why and I don't have any stops on. Then you might get yelled at. But any other type of question like, hey, why'd you do that? Or hey, is this that? We're going to help you out. So don't feel shy. It actually makes it a better learning experience for everyone. All right. Yeah, for one reason, we anticipated a break to the downside. One reason is just because it's the pound dollar, and we just been saying get short the pound. That's just that doesn't count as a technical reason, but as the 1% of fundamentals that we use, that's counted. But we've also been in a downward move, right? So before the wedge pattern, which is a neutral pattern, we were in a downward move. Now this doesn't mean that this is going to break to the downside, but typically you see these patterns break in the direction of the underlying trend. And in this case, the underlying trend was bearish. This is kind of just like a pause. So imagine the market going down, and then it's kind of like, what am I doing here? Little pause, little distribution, and then boom, downward. Again, not always the case, but if you had to choose one, that's the one you would lean towards. So when we identify, right, we know that we've broken past our little spike here, about time, waiting to get past that bad boy. And we've made a considerable move down, a little 300 pip move to the downside from that level. So the question is, where are we trading at? Identify. Where are we currently trading at? I like using the tools here. So I like taking a line tool. I like going to my lows, and I like just looking left and say, okay, well, where are we at? Where would you guys say we're at? We are at previous structure support. Now we do have a little bit of support lower and a little bit more lower. And it looks close here, but it's, in reality, it's probably like 100 pips away. But we are at previous structure support. So the question is, while we're trading at previous structure support, PSS, I like that GIF. Thanks for changing the name, by the way. Appreciate it. While we're trading at previous structure support, are we looking to sell or buy? Yeah, we're looking to buy, right? And I know it's crazy. You see the big move and you're like, Nikhil, you just said when in doubt, close your eyes and sell the pound. And we just moved 300 pips down. I gotta get on the trend. Well, you missed the bus. Okay? This is where the suckers get involved. You missed the bus, right? The move has already been made. This is one of the finest examples I can give of the move has already been made. If you're looking to get involved right now, short, you've missed it. And what do I mean by we missed it is we've already gone to its destination, right? If we were looking to get short anywhere inside this zone, here's how I think. Where would we be looking to take targets at? Where do you guys think? Where would we anticipate price going to? Yeah, probably this level right here. So now that we're there, do we want to get involved? No, we need to wait. So the only thing I would be looking for here is to get long. Only thing I would be looking for here is to get long, a counter trend opportunity, a little bit of relief. So let's take that down to the 240. And that's hard to understand because people feel like they missed the move. And that gives them even more reason to get involved, right? They see the move and everyone on social media is talking about the move, right? Your buddy with the WhatsApp is, saying, oh, I just made 200 pips on the pound. You're like, I missed out. I got to get involved. I'll catch the last little bit. And then you are the sucker. You are the sucker that allows other traders to get out of their position because when you're selling, that's exactly what they need to get their buy orders off. Right? So I would look for a counter trend trading opportunity. Price action has gone oversold. We have seen a little bit of reaction, right? We've seen a high momentum bearish candle, that big red candle on your screen. We've seen the candle after that retrace about halfway. I think this is a prime location to look for a conservative reversal, perhaps a double bottom or even a 2618. Now, the question is, how far is that reversal going to go? Do we, structurally looking, this is our next level of structure, basically $1.24. That may be a little bit of a stretch. But structure-wise, that is our next location. What is something else we can do to perhaps pick potential targets? Pick potential targets. PPT, PSS, PTT. We're gonna start speaking in all PPTs, L3Cs. Yeah, we can use some fibs, perhaps. We can say, hey, Fibonacci retracement. Let's say swing high, swing low. And we can say, well, maybe a more conservative way is a 382. Or maybe a more conservative way is, I guess, a 618 lines up or a 50% retracement. We can bring some Fibonacci influence in there depending on how price forms. Maybe we can even do some harmonic moves or something like that. But I think this would be a heck of a move. I think it's okay to hold on to that for maybe secondary targets. I think it's a lot to ask for primary targets to look for a 200 pip move essentially, or a 200 plus pip move, just because we know the overall theme of the market. And this is where again, maybe your fundamentals play a little bit. As a counter trend trader, are we with or against the what's it called when water's flowing? Current. There we go. Yeah, we're against it, right? So whenever you're against the current, you want to be a little bit more conservative, in my opinion. When you're with the trend, you can do some funky things because you're being pushed with the underlying trend. When you're against the trend, you want to be a little bit more conservative. So I would definitely look for that approach here. So let's go down to the 60-minute, the hourly chart. Let me load up our tier 1 website as well, just in case I need to utilize this pro trade log. Let them know what we're looking at. So let me put this into the pro trade log real quick. Keep our guys updated on what we're looking at. James Pettigrew, nice pro trade log. We're looking at, what is this, pound dollar, pound dollar, 4 hour, potential structure buy. Buy. Where did I put you at? Foundation course 2, foundation course. Sheesh, where'd you go? Here you go, pound dollar. Please see live room recording. This is 7:20, 7:30 for details. Just in case someone's there, like, I'm just gonna buy it right now because Akil posted it, which oddly enough we get. Lastly, I even think the 3D2 is a push. Yeah, it could be. We'll look on the lower time frame. My guess when we go down to the hourly, this is going to be a level right here, $1.22, which we should pay attention to, which is probably where you're looking. Yeah, looks like you're looking at the same thing. All right, so let's go down to the 60-minute chart. George said that's what I see as well. 60-minute chart. So here's a clearer look at what's happening on the 60. You can see that $1.22 level. I call this a little pregnant pause here, right? Little bit of relief before the market continue on its way down. So this is going to be the first place that I would think price action hits. Right near $1.22. And unfortunately, we may be there already. But that would be the safest level to look for. Go down to the 15-minute chart. What, head and shoulders? Oh, look at that. Already happened. This is called a head and shoulders pattern. Price action comes down, gives us a little consolidation here. We retrace lower. We come up, retest this, which is called the neckline. We come in and put in a secondary shoulder. We break and close above that neckline before retracing down here. This is going to be a head and shoulders pattern. What would have been a good entry on this would have been a higher high, higher close right here. Unfortunately, we never got a higher high, higher close. Now, what would have been cool about this, if we are shooting, let's do some more analysis on this, right? So let's pretend this was a higher high, higher close. And maybe it was on a lower time frame on a 5-minute chart. But let's just go through a process right here. Let's go through this. If this were a higher high, higher close, and maybe we did. No, we didn't. Where do stops need to be? or where could stops be. You don't need to be anywhere specific. Below the pin bar, yep. Below the shoulder, yep. So if you're doing just an ATR base stop, ATR is 13. Right now we're at 121.54 minus 13.41, right? Right around here. So you're looking at a potential risk. And again, this is assuming you've entered that market. And this is for you guys that are new, this is a practice we do. I can care less about hindsight trading. Again, the point here is to educate. So when we find opportunities, even if they're missed, I think it's very valuable. And let me know if I'm wrong. I think it's very valuable to go through them and practice how we would get involved. Because guess what? This will happen again. Will it not? Will we ever see another Head and Shoulders, guys? Yes, we will. And guess what? The next time you see it, right? This practice, or the practice that you consistently do in your analysis as you review each and every day, it will be locked in your head. So the next time Latch sees this, there's no more that hesitation of like, okay, and this, and then I do that. Now it's boom, stops, boom, boom, enter. Like, ooh, I've seen this before. I know exactly what it's going to do. Right? We talked about this in the Sunday training where it's like Wyckoff says the market never makes the same move twice. It's true. It doesn't make the same move exactly twice. But the same concepts reoccur in the market over and over again, just slightly different. So that's our risk. So the question is now reward. What are some ideas for reward? This is entry, stops, and targets, gang. What are some ideas for reward? How can we reward ourselves here? And we may get opportunity as we go down to the lower time frames. If I was more concentrated on trading versus teaching, we'd go down there. But I think this is going to be a good lesson. Latch says 122 even. That's the level that him and George were looking at before. Anybody else? Again, judgment-free zone. I hate Planet Fitness. Judgment-free zone, but put in your judgment. Yep, you can do an equal measured move. So we can take kind of this move right here. I'll make this a different color so you guys can see it a little more clear. I thought we'd actually have a better risk reward here. We don't. My eyes have deceived me, but 1-to-1 measured move. That's going to be right around that same level, a little bit lower. A Fibonacci extension would be here. We could do one for the neckline as well. 122.02, you don't want to be there. You can do a 1-to-1 from the here to here. That will put you a little bit higher. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like 122 is going to be the level I would shoot for. Technically, our structure is a little bit higher than that, right? Our structure is about 122.08, but this is where experience in the market comes in handy. If I gave you the choice between putting a potential target at 122.08 versus 122 even, or I should say 121.99, what is the better choice? Yeah, below the round number. So, unfortunately, this is probably what it's going to look like. Which is, I mean, it's a 1-to-1. For some reason, I thought it'd be a lot better. But this is what your risk reward would look like in this scenario. So let's continue down to the lower time frames. We'll go down to the 5, and then we'll go down to the range bar charts. Range bar charts will probably give us a clearer view. Now, in the 5-minute, you can see this is a little bit different, right? If you're going all the way down to the 5, and you're looking for that higher high, higher close, that higher high, higher close is going to come down here, right? It's going to come right at this candle. I guess not much of a difference, but it's going to come right at that candle. So you do have a nice entry reason right here if you were looking at this on the 5-minute. Let's take one more look on the range bar chart. See if this gives us anything. Range bar chart. You actually get a double bottom here on the range bar chart, so you get a conservative reason for entry. How about that? Look at that, you conservative traders. Oh, wrong one. You get a nice double bottom here, and you get a retested structure. So a little bit different here in the range bar chart. If you're looking for a higher high, higher close, that comes right here. If you're looking for a double bottom, that comes right there. So I would say on the range bar chart, perhaps wait for a retest of that double bottom and a hold. And there could be another opportunity to get involved, but that's how I would have approached it. That's how I would have approached it. So if we come back down, if we can hold this level, ideally, if we can come down here and get a nice little pin bar, say something like this, that would be a good sign to potentially get involved. If not, you may just have to wait for the next opportunity. Any questions on pound dollar? All right, so we're going to go now to another, we're going to bounce around a little bit and go down to another opportunity on a pound pair. We're going to go to pound Aussie, and this is actually going to be the opposite, right? If I type it in correctly. This is going to be a potential trend continuation trading opportunity unless something has drastically changed since this morning. Now, some of you guys that are new, you may be asking, Akil, why would you look to get long pound dollar but look to get short pound Aussie potentially? Which doesn't look like it's going to be the case now. But let's say the original idea before we gave up all of those losses. Because I don't give a damn about correlations. I don't care. You trade what's on the chart. And if you remember our little lesson about fractals in the market, right? Remember we're thinking bigger picture versus smaller picture, right? On the pound dollar, was our overall analysis saying the pound dollar is going to be long? No, it was looking for a counter trend move, right? To catch a little bit of relief before the bigger trend potentially continues. So it's all about big trend versus little trend. What side you decide to be on. Now, this is going to be a little bit different than when I first looked at it this morning. But pound Aussie here on the daily. So we had a few things happening. We had the 1-to-1 measured move at previous level of structure, 1618 Fibonacci confluence. Mamma mia, right? We had a nice hold of that. We had a little bit of a retracement. And then like many of the pound pairs, it just fell off a cliff. Now, this morning, we were breaking this level to the downside. And I had trend continuation all on my radar, right? All up on my radar, TCT. But as you can see, we've started retracing and putting a little bit of relief like our other pair. And all of a sudden, we are getting a very beautiful pin bar at that area. So how does this, or I guess when you see this type of formation on your chart, what does this make you think? Good water. Does it make you think I should buy, I should sell, I should hold, I should wait? Chris says buying pressure. Lat says a hold. Ali says bull strength. Gift says buyers pushing up. Yeah, so we're seeing buying pressure. Definitely pumping my brakes on any selling opportunities because we're seeing so much buying pressure. And we haven't been able to close below that level. That's very important. This was a key level of structure before. And so far it's holding. Now at the same time, I'm not really interested in any buying opportunities either from a trading perspective. Can anyone tell me why? And again, this is kind of the luxury of being involved in the market so long. I could look at something rather quickly and tell you whether I'm interested or not. Yeah, entry stops and targets, right? So yeah, not only did we already retrace to the level in which I would be interested in, that is 100%. But let's take a look at this, right? Even if I were shooting for this level, for this yellow line, right? Knowing my style of trading, right? I would need a higher high, higher close to involve myself in this market. So at minimum, I would need price to close right here. With this wick being so low, my stops have to be below that. No way I would either be able to get my 1-to-1 risk reward. Now, again, as George mentioned, I wouldn't be interested in, we've already come to the level. We've already made the retracement in which I thought we'd make, so I wouldn't be interested in that case. But even if I were, it just wouldn't be a trade that meets my risk reward ratio unless I were to go down to the lower time frames and find an alternate reason for entry. So it's important that we think about all of that stuff because I know so many times we get caught up on just thinking about the move, but the move has to meet so many things. Not only does that have to be a good trading opportunity, but it has to meet our risk reward ratio. Depending on how you're trading it, it may have to meet your minimum risk. Meaning if you know, one of the reasons I dumped the pound Aussie and the pound euro Aussie a few years ago was because the pair was just too big. My maximum risk, I am not allowed to risk more than 100 pips on any given trade. And many of the pattern formations, or like I would say about half of the pattern formations that I encountered on these pairs at the time of high volatility, were more than 100 pips. And for most of that time, this is before I had a rule, which I don't know why it took me so long. You guys made me create this rule. This is before I had a rule that said I can just enter late. I don't know why I didn't have that rule before. It literally doesn't make any difference in your trading. But I used to have a rule where it's like if a trade, instead of entering deeper in the zone, I just couldn't take it. Which that was a dumb kill moment. But like I said, when I first started trading, dude, I was so strict. You have no idea how strict I was in my rules. Very, very, very strict, because I needed to be that way. I was a wild stallion roaming these markets with no one to guide me, doing what I want, where I wanted to do it at. Someone needed to rein me in, pull me in, get me under control. And I turned to my trading plan to do that. And a very good trading mentor. Very good trading mentors. I had very good trading mentors. Someone reached out to me this morning. I think they were looking for me to badmouth Jason Stapleton. I'm like, why? Why? The same person also thought Trade Empowered still existed, or that I was still with Trade Empowered. So you can see how long they've been out the game. Last year, it's okay. It's okay to think that last year. I'm like, this year, it's been what, 2 years? It's been 2 years, man. Where have you been? Where have you been? Not involved in the markets, that's where. All right, so let's get on to the lower time frame. This is not as great as I thought it was before, but we'll take a look at it. So this is the importance of higher time frame analysis. And well, I should say this. This is the importance of sticking to your routine as far as your time frames go. So my routine is the daily is my higher time frame, the 240 is my trading time frame, 60 would be my lower time frame for swing trading. I can care less what you use, it doesn't matter as long as you are consistent, because here's why consistency matters, right? If all of a sudden I didn't go to my daily and I said, let's just hop on to the quarter, right? Let's hop on to the 4 hour. What would I see here? Would my I be a little bit different? Not the letter I, not EYE. Might identify? Yeah. I would look at this and I'd be like, yo, lower low, lower close, pullback time. Showtime, right? And I'd be excited about selling. Yeah, I'd be like selling pressure with this current candle, pin bar ready. Woo! I think we just tickled. We just tickled 177 even. Did we kiss it? Yep, look at that. Just tickled it. That's what I like to, I like to see it. I like to see it. That, the lower low, lower close, right? Go down to my lower time frame, look for lower low, lower close, boom, enter. Trend continuation trade, we can roam until wherever that next stopping point is at. Where's the next stopping point? A little bit of cluster down here, but at least probably until at least 175s. Minimum at 175s, I'd say. But because I know what's happening on the higher time frame, it stops me from jumping to those conclusions. And that would mean two things. One, it keeps me out of the trade. Two, if I am going to involve myself in a trade, maybe I have proper expectations. So instead of shooting for a target down at 175, maybe I say I'm only looking for a retest, at least with first targets. I'm gonna be a little bit safer with first targets because my higher time frame doesn't necessarily agree. Does that make sense? You don't always have to dump the trade. Sometimes you can just adjust how you look to take it. And that can go for targets. That can go for entry reason. You know, maybe Jess says, you know what, trend continuation trade, but I know my higher time frame doesn't agree. So instead of taking an aggressive entry because higher time frame and lower time frame doesn't agree, I'm going to take more of a conservative entry. So I'm going to look for a little bit more safety, right? You guys see me do that when we have, you know, like I don't care about a double bottom when there's no structure involved. But I'll say, hey, this is a decent level now. I don't have the structure to take the double bottom, but I'll wait for that 26.18. I'll be a little bit more conservative because the opportunity, in my opinion, isn't as good. So you wait to be a little bit more conservative, right? Think like an NFL team when they got the lead in the fourth quarter, and it's like, man, I could throw the ball and go for this first down, or I can just run it and be a little bit more safer and wind up the clock. Speaking of which, random sports rant, Everton. I don't know if it's official. I don't want to jinx it, but I think we finally signed a striker this morning. Now we lost a really good midfielder to PSG, but I think we finally signed a striker. I don't know if it's officially gone through, so I don't want to get excited, but I'm a little excited. They made another bid for Zaha, but see, I don't know if we need him anymore because we just got, well, rumor is we just got Keane from Juventus. Now we lost Gana Gueye to PSG, who he's a hard working SOB. I love him. He's a hard working SOB. But you know, he wanted to go. He deserves to go. He's I mean, he's a little reckless, but he's the hardest worker out there. And African Cup. Yeah, his motor is just incredible. This man gives 100% for better for us every time. Yeah. But he wanted to go. He wanted an opportunity to play in Champions Leagues. So he went to PSG, and you know, I suppose we need the money for the signings we're making. So I appreciate that. We did get Delph from Man City, which is a different type of midfielder, but you know, we'll lose a little bit of that effort and that defensiveness. But Delph is a little bit better with control. But if the Keane thing is real, and we could put him up front, keep Richarlison on the side. Ooh. We'll probably still blow it this year and end up middle of the table because that's what Everton does, but we'll do it in style. All right. Gift says, to my understanding, that would be a harami inside mother candle, so this would make sense for me to buy. Nice. If that's now let me ask you this. Do you trade strictly off candlesticks, or do you take the whole picture into account? Because as I like to say, and hopefully I'll be remembered for this, it's not the what, but the... Everyone say it. Where? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm the guy that does that at live seminars, but no one responds. Everyone, yeah. Come on, get on with it, bro. All right. Sorry. Yep. So nothing wrong with candlesticks, but something I've learned, because I used to be a candlestick. I used to study candlesticks like spelling tests. I used to write them down on index cards, and literally I'd have the candlestick on one side, I have the name of it on the other side, and I'd memorize like like a spelling test, and I would just strictly try to trade candlesticks, and it was a horrible idea. But when you add the candlestick formation, which tells you something very important about the market, when you add that at the right location, so a location in which you're expecting the same thing in which the candlestick formation tells you to expect, now you have something special. Yep, now you have something special. All right. So let's head down to the 60-minute chart here. Get a clearer view at pound Aussie. 60-minute chart here. Very similar looking to pound dollar, right? And no surprise, these moves made the same thing. Big move, pregnant pause, continued move. Now, okay, never mind. I was gonna look for a potential counter trend trading opportunity, but not necessarily gonna exist. So I would say this: if you are looking to get involved in a trade short, keep an eye on this level for your shorting opportunity. I would have stops right above it, if you can, right above this level here as well. Give you a little bit more safety, and I would be conservative again. I'm neutral on this right now. I have no reason to buy or sell, but I think that if you are going to sell, you just want to be conservative with how far you're shooting for targets, because we haven't had that daily confirmation yet. All right, let's go down to the 15er. Not too much to look at. Down to the 5. Any questions on the pound Aussie? All right, let's go to Aussie Canada next, if you guys don't mind, because this is something I want to look at before 9 o'clock. And then we'll take our first break, if that's cool with you. Not that you have a choice, but it makes you think that you have a choice at least. Snack time. Yeah, well, quick break, quick math. So excited to be. I'm still not officially back in the markets yet, guys, but I actually did a full round of top-down analysis this morning, so I'm so excited. I'm so sick of the teaching thing. Like, not that I'm done teaching, but like creating courses is man, it's a drag. I don't know how many of you guys have ever done that. You know, you ever do a presentation for work? It's just a drag. Like, if it were up to me, I would do this. And I'd have to be better at this because I'm not. But maybe this is something I do for the future. I would much rather just do a live training course where I just do the entire course live. Maybe that'll be the next one. The entire course live and just record it. I think that would be much better, because now it's like, you know, when I love teaching like this, but then like when you do a course, you got to think about what you want to do, which I have trouble doing because I'm so sporadic, right? So spontaneous. You got to think about what you want to do, and then you got to do a PowerPoint for it, and then you got to do this, and then you got to record it, and then you got to edit it. And if you're like me and you don't really speak well, then you got to go back and redo parts that you say the wrong word on, or change a typo, even though I've given up on changing typos. They're just going to be there. I just don't care. And like, imagine doing that for like, this is like a 25, 30 video course. It just wears on you. So that's one of the reasons, if you guys are new, I've been out of the markets for the last, 2 weeks now. Just because I've been just drained. Now, it's fun. It's great when it all comes together. But like, once you get to like video, like, it's like back testing. The first 10 videos, you're all pumped up and it's all excited. And that's like, I got 20 left. And it just drags in the middle. It just drags. But that's what you got to do. Just like back testing. That's what you got to do. Back testing drags. Gosh. All right. Some of you guys enjoy it. Some of you guys are really backtesting nerds. Sarah's like that. I don't know if you guys know Sarah. Sarah's really, she's like, I love it. She's like, I love it when the numbers come together. I'm like, Sarah, you're crazy. But she's a numbers person. She likes seeing the picture, the puzzle kind of come together. All right. Aussie Canada, identify. What are we doing here? This is interesting. Yep. So we have come down. Down, 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 down. We have come down, right? This yellow line was a previous level of structured support, right? We've come up and we've broken and closed below that level. New structure lows, yeah, right? Then we've come back up and violated our previous outside return, putting us into what? Aside from taking George into the red on a bull cipher, George? Yep. Now we've come all the way back down after bull rotation to retest these lows. So we're not technically in a bullish trend here. We are in consolidation because we don't have the 3-point move. But if there were ever a time for this level to hold, we are technically in rotation, yes. If there were ever a time for this level to hold, this would be it. So this is going to be a decent buying opportunity if you're not already involved. You'll see a cipher down there when we go down to the 240. I don't have my Enigma up, but I'll do it old school like with the fibs. We have X to A, swing low to swing high, A to B, right there, B to C, up here, this bad boy, and then a CD completion is right down here at 91 tenths. We're now testing and holding those lows. Now, we have about 33 minutes left to see if this becomes a double bottom. Currently, it is a violated double bottom. However, this candle does not close for another 32 minutes. So if we can hold, if you can get a valid double bottom down there, that is a buying opportunity for you. Once again, I wouldn't be as aggressive to trade it all the way to the top. There's nothing that says we will retest these highs. But a good level to shoot for would be a retest of perhaps these levels in here. Look for the B leg of that cipher. It might actually be where the new cipher targets are at. Yeah, it'd be right around the 3D2 for a cipher, your traditional cipher targets as well. So something to keep an eye out for here on Aussie Canada. And I'm gonna throw this into our chat as well. Give me a sec. This is AUDCAD for our potential DB at structure support inside previous bull cipher. Now, of course, if you're depending on your rules for a cipher, this may still be 100% valid for you, right? Now, my rules say that as soon as we violate the X, if we go anywhere past the X, beyond the X, it is an invalid cipher. But many of you guys also have rules that say I need a break and close right below that X, kind of a traditional violation, a break below, close below to invalidate it. So if this is still a valid cipher and perhaps you missed it or perhaps the risk was too much, this could be an at-market buy. This could be an at-market buy for you. Like I said, don't feel too comfortable with the targets because of that level at 91 even. So we're actually looking at 91 even right here for a potential target area, or a target area and where price is likely to run into trouble, I should say. Let's go down to, where's my other chart? Here we go. Not the 5, but the 60-minute chart here. Oh, I got another podcast interview today with someone from the Philippines. Interesting. Now, 60-minute chart. We have a completely different look here. Obviously, lower time frame. Double bottom has already been violated. So if you're looking for something here on the 60, I would look for this on from a lower time frame perspective. So the day trading perspective is going to be slightly different. You may be able to look for a cipher in the opposite direction if that 127 hits for you. That would look like this. X to A, A to B, B to C, C to D up here for potential bear cipher at 90.97. What, 2 pips of potential targets? 11 pips. But you may want to look for more of a classic rotation. So something like this for price action to violate these levels, this level. Let's see where that's lining up at. Okay, yeah. So for price action to violate, to take out those two most recent highs, right? This high and this high. And then what do you think you should look for after that? Obviously, if you're a breakout trader, you can look for the breakout right away. If not, then look for, some type of pullback. And I would wait for a violation of both of these levels, just because a violation of this level is going to take you basically right into the ceiling. There's not going to be any trading opportunity there, in my opinion. But a violation of that 91 level that Latch was looking at, and we're really like 91.06, and then a pullback, and you look for a continuation up. So from a day trading perspective, if we see that reversal, you're not getting on at the beginning of the move, but you still have a chance to get on kind of like in the middle of the move, which isn't a bad trading opportunity. So that is Aussie Canada. We're not going to get anything as we go down to the lower time frames. Any questions before we take the first break? Perfect. Let me load up 13 minutes and 1 second, and I'll see you guys when we return. All right, gang, back for round two. Let's kick off things with the Aussie dollar. So far, we've looked at pound dollar, pound Aussie, and Aussie Canada. We'll go to Aussie dollar next, and of course, if there's a pair that you guys have on your radar, you're like, hey, Akil, can you take a look at this? Feel free to type it in. I won't say I have no rhyme or reason for looking at what we're looking at, but I don't need to stay into order of what's on my radar. If you guys have a specific pair you want to take a look at. So Aussie dollar, we'll start here on the daily. Let me just get my notes. AUD, USD, we're at what, 102? Perfect. And well, we can see that price has recently done what? Price has recently broken past an inside level of previous, or what is now an inside level of structure, so previous level of structure support. You can see we tested that level. We put in a doji day, so a day of indecision, and now we're continuing down. As we go down to the lower time frame, we're going to see a little bit of support down in here. This was a previous head and shoulder pattern. But there is an opportunity that price can travel down a little bit lower to 68.60s, maybe even down to about 68.50s level. So this is going to be more of an intraday trading opportunity where, from a swing trading perspective, probably not too much you're interested at until we get down to previous structure support and put in a potential counter trend trading opportunity. But as a lower time frame trader, this may be something that still has a little bit more room to the downside. So you may be able to catch it if we were to get some type of a pullback. So you can see what's happening here on the 240. The market kind of died off a little bit, and then we're continuing on our way down. Again, here's that head and shoulders I mentioned on the lower time frame. We're coming right into that level. So you could look at this as a potential level of previous structure that you want to be aware of. But again, we can also push a little bit lower, really down to that 68.60s level. We head down to the 60-minute chart. And again, we really won't be seeing any trading opportunities until we get down to the lower time frames. But here's a look at the 60. Once we get down to the 15, this is what was originally on my radar. Oops. Or what I thought would be on my radar, but it actually doesn't look too appetizing with the 15. We already had our pullback earlier this morning. This would have been the move that we would be looking for, right? We talked about going down to about the 68.60s. That's not too far from where we're at right now. But with this pullback right here to 68.80s, this would have been the opportunity to hop on for the next move down. So we may have just missed the opportunity on this pair. May have not actually been a trading opportunity anyway, so it wouldn't have been too bad, but not, yeah. Yeah, not a lot here. So the idea was look for a pullback and an opportunity to continue to trend on the down, to the downside. Unfortunately, the market just hasn't really given us any opportunity. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes you have something that looks good in the higher time frames, and you go down to the lower time frames looking for a way that you can get involved, and the market just doesn't give it to you. So that is the case of the Aussie dollar. You guys want to go Euro Aussie or Aussie Yen next? Those were the two last pairs that were on my watch list. Which one do you guys want to go next? Euro Aussie or Aussie Yen, I should say. Latch says Euro Aussie. Okay. Let's do it. Pretty quick analysis with the Aussie dollar. How about that? All right, Euro Aussie. This was a potential, or is a potential structure trade. Now we have something else setting up. We have a few things setting up actually. We're coming off a head and shoulders pattern, which you can see right here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Here was our neckline. We technically had to break here. We had a little bit of a retest. We moved down, but not a big follow through down. We are also setting up what looks to be a potential cipher. I could be wrong, but I believe the ratios should line up. If we look at our X right up here, I'll take the highest point, but either one of these would work actually. But let's take the highest point of our move here. X to A, swing high to swing low. And you can see that we do hit the 127. I guess I should measure the first move out first. Do we hit a 3D2? Yes, we do. Then we hit a 127. We are now looking for what to have a cipher completion for you guys that are familiar with the pattern here on the daily. Looking at a 786. So let me just get this. I don't know why I took all my stuff off of here. Where is, let's get my Enigma up. Let's just put that on. And let's just delete that. So if you guys are new, Enigma is our pattern recognition software. So instead of drawing out all these lines, it makes me easier just to add that, to plug that on there. I'm going to zoom this in. I'm going to make sure I get this into our chat as well. It's actually a pretty decent color, like a tannish brown. I kind of like it. But potential cipher here, bear cipher here in brown here on Euro Aussie. So again, we're looking at Euro Aussie. This is the daily. And this is a potential bear cipher at, I need to make the font bigger, 163.29. 163.29. Now, a few things you wanna pay attention to on this, right? One, do you trade the Euro Aussie? Two, do you trade cipher patterns? Three, do you trade the daily time frame? And what do you think four would be? Does it meet my risk? Now, does it meet your risk is going to depend on a few things. Obviously, it depends on what type of risk strategy you're using. If you're using a percentage, a set percentage based or a fixed percentage based risk, then it's not going to be a problem because you're adjusting your trade size per your risk. But actually, I guess it could be. There could be an opportunity where the risk is so large that it's what you would be able to risk on the trade is below the smallest measurement, unless you're doing like micro pips and all that stuff. But those are the things you want to pay attention to. Do I trade this pair? Do I trade this pattern? Is the risk acceptable? If so, fire it off. Now, before we get to that potential decompletion up there, we have to get through the B leg, right? We have to get through this middle part of our pattern. And what this is going to offer is a structure-based trading opportunity, right? We're right in the meat of it right now. And as long as we do not violate 162.30s, that means we're going to have that nice 162 even handle in there. This could be a potential short opportunity. Now, this is an interesting one, right? This is the left, or this is the right shoulder of the previous head and shoulders pattern. And one could make the case, this is where your overall analysis is gonna come into play. One could make the case is that this is the initial pullback. Now I know we looked at this miniature pullback on the lower time frames, but on the daily time frame, you can certainly make the cases of this being the single move, breaking the neckline, and this being the initial pullback. Now, what's important is you understand where was your projection of this head and shoulders, meaning that when you initially looked at the head and shoulders, where did you anticipate price going to? Did you anticipate price going here? This level in here? Did you anticipate it going here? Did you anticipate it going here? Because if you anticipated only going to that first level, then this is another scenario where the move has been made. If you anticipated going to one of the lower levels, has the move still been made? No. So you can still involve yourself in the head and shoulders pattern as a head and shoulders. Now, either way, I think a conservative place to look for targets at, where would you guys say would be a conservative place to look for targets if we end up getting short? Obviously, shooting for a continuation would be more aggressive. Latch and George, the normal ones that type in, everyone else is so shy about typing in their targets. So it's always Latch and George. And you guys are perfectly in sync. Yeah, look at that. 160.50. So we put take this line up, put at 160.50s. Now, why would you say 160.50s? Someone other than Latch and George. Good job, Chris. Good job. Good job, Chris. That's a hat tipper. I tip my hat to you, sir. For you guys watching the recording, Chris says, because that's what Latch and George said. You can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. Yeah, structure, right? This could end up being another head and shoulders pattern, right? And if we anticipate this being another head and shoulders pattern, right, I don't want to say you anticipate, but in your best head and shoulders patterns, you're going to see somewhat of a symmetrical shoulder. And we even saw it with this one, where our left shoulder is here. You know, if we drew this line out, our right shoulder is right at there. It's a little bit lower than the highs. We can see it's right in the mix of it. This is where we would expect price to go if we're going to see a head and shoulders pattern, right around the same area of our previous shoulder, which is actually the same area of our neckline. So that's a pretty good conservative level to shoot for. And that's got lots of legs on it. I mean, we're at 62, right? Remember, this is a daily chart. We're at 162, excuse me. This is at 160.50s. There's 150 pips of movement there, right? Plenty of opportunities. So this is a good opportunity here on Euro Aussie to shoot for a potential shorting trade. So going down to the 4-hour time frame, right? We can see that price is rallying up into that zone, our previous structure resistance. I don't have my VS1 levels on. If you do, you probably have a VS1 level up here. I took them off my chart just because they just it gets a little clustered. It's nothing against the VS1s, guys. I love them to death, but I've been doing this long enough. I know we're supposed to show them off and whatnot, but I've been doing this long enough where I know what levels of structure I'm looking at, and it just brings extra clutter to my eyes, and I'm just, I like the charts to be as naked as possible. There's two things in this world that I like naked. My charts and that smoothie. I love the naked smoothies, man. They're good. I really like the vanilla chai one. Vanilla chai naked smoothie is great. A lot of sugar in it, so it's sweet. It kind of defeats the purpose. You're better off going with one of the green ones, but I like it. I mix it up with a little bit of milk. So two things I like naked, guys. My charts and my smoothies. Well, you guys don't like naked smoothies? No? Just me? No, you don't know? Okay. Tell you what, that's the first thing, right? I'm not not in the dating world anymore. Obviously, happily married. But the first thing I would do, right? You know, when I go on dates, I like to take my dates to the gym, right? I like to take my dates to the gym, see if they can handle themselves in the workplace. So we go to the gym, work up a good sweat, you know, get a nice little bulk, nice little pump going on, right? And then we leave the gym, and I said, hey babe, what you want to do next? You want to go grab something to eat? And they're like, sure, let's go grab something to eat. And so I said, okay. You want to get naked? And I usually get this weird look back. And I was always confused. Why do I get this weird look back? Every time I ask this girl, she wants to get naked, I get this weird look. Sometimes even a slap in the face. So I suppose there was maybe we weren't on the same page with things, but I was always talking about the protein smoothie, right? You know, best you want to recharge about 30 minutes within the 30 minutes after your workout. Your muscles need it to come back a little bit stronger. So, but I don't know. It was always weird. Never really made it to second dates after that. But yeah, 2 things I love naked, guys: charts and smoothies. Charts and smoothies. If you guys are new, there's one thing you learned from today. If you ever take a date to the gym or you do something fun like, you know, biking, anything where you're ripping the muscles apart a little bit, go up to that girl and ask her if she wants to get naked. That's the best thing to recharge her muscles. George says my approach is a little off, but I like it. We won't go too deep into this. If you think about it, it's a win-win. It's a perfect excuse, George. If you are someone who is that bold, where you're like, hey, you want to get naked? If she says yes, then it's a win. He or she. If they say yes, then it's a win. If they say no, you just say no. I'm talking about the drink, and you make sure you have one in your bag at all times. No, the smoothie, babe. What do you think I was talking about? That? Come on now. But you really were. It's a win-win, guys. It's a win-win. I wouldn't be bold enough to do this, no, in real life. But if you think about it, if you're someone who's that bold, I have a roommate like that who's just, you know, he says what's on his mind. That's how you hedge your bets. Oh yeah. If she said, if it's the first date, that's probably a bad sign. If you're on the first date and you're like, you want to get naked, and she starts ripping off clothes, probably not a good sign. He or she, right? Probably not a good sign. That's not a keeper. that's not a keeper. For sure. That would be the opposite, right? That would be the opposite, where you're not even going for that funny approach. You're actually talking about the drink, and you're like, "Hey, babe, you want to go get naked?" And she's like, "Yeah!" Starts ripping off clothes. And you're like, "Whoa, hey, whoa now, hey, no, I'm gonna need you to put that back on, please." Don't mess with me during the 30 minutes after my workout. I need my recovery. Get serious in that 30-minute window, that 15-minute window. All right, so anyway, enough about getting naked. But I like my charts naked. That's why you don't see the VS1s on here. But I would say this: if you are a newer trader, George says I wouldn't stop her. I just wouldn't call her back. And Jessica agrees. You guys are horrible. Who teaches you this stuff? If you guys are new, I do recommend the VS1s though. If you're new and you're not up to, I won't say up to par, but if you need a little bit more confidence about what structure levels to pay attention to, I do recommend using those VS1 levels. They are a massive help. Again, just for me, I've been doing this for so many years that I know myself. I know my trading like the back of my hand. It does help on the higher time frames as far as knowing, hey, where was that daily structure at again? But for me, I just much rather have the cleaner charts to show you. But there most likely is a VS1 level in here that you can use to identify a structure. But start looking for reversals, right? We've already seen the market, the trend, it started to slow down a little bit before it gave kind of one last thrust. This may be the final thrust up. If we look at our RSI, right, what is our RSI starting to do? ever since this level. We're starting to kind of fade off a little bit. We talked about some funky tricks with the RSI. We won't dig into them today because I feel like that will confuse you. But start looking for those reasons for reversal. Ask yourself now, dear trading plan, what do I need to happen in order to get short? Do I need the RSI to be overbought? Do I need a pin bar, lower low, lower close reversal? Do I need a candlestick formation, as Giff was mentioning earlier? Do I need a double top, a 2618, a consolidation pattern? What do I need to enter? I think this is a good opportunity. Lower, earlier we talked about 60/50s as a very conservative target. We may want to change that. Now, overall, I like this level a little bit below there. If I drag this line here, what do we have here at this line? Nice little structure swap. And if Naomi, if you're watching this, I know we had trouble kind of answering your question yesterday, but this is what I would look for. I would look for this zone in general. I would look for this zone in general as a place on where I'm IDing for targets, but not specifically like, each part of it. I wouldn't go backward. I would just look for this most recent zone. This is the most recent structure swap. I think you guys would agree. If we had one here, that'd be another one. This is the zone in which I would look for potential target placement if I'm using this structure swap. And then you can kind of pair that up with, say, Fibonacci's and whatnot if you want to dial it down to more of a specific level. But we also have, in this case, we also have a little tricky area as well. We have this right here, right at the 61 even handle, right? Because this wick came up here, got beat down, and then again, as we got above it, we came back to retest it. So an even more conservative level would be 61 evens. So super conservative, well, we can keep making the case for more conservative levels, and that's kind of the tough part about trading, right? We can just keep pushing it up and up. But I think 61 even is a conservative level. I think 60/50s is a good level as well. And then of course, if you're very aggressive, you can shoot for that full continuation downward based on the bigger head and shoulders pattern. Make sense, guys? I know we were disrupted by the naked talk, but I think this is a good opportunity for shorts. I'm going to put this into our chat as well. And just say, what are we looking for? Euro Aussie 240. Euro Aussie 4 hour. Retest of previous structure resistance. See live room recording 7:30 for details. All right. Any questions about Euro Aussie? We're gonna head down to the 60 and the lower time frames. But any questions thus far? All right. Let's go down to the 60. I wonder if Gab Mob is still listening. Gab Mob. All right. So Euro Aussie in the 60. We're not gonna really get much from the lower time frames. We're just gonna see a broken down look at the higher time frame. So I think the higher time frame is the opportunity. So we're not going to spend much time on the lowers. All right. Cool. Let's go to our next pair. Let's go to Aussie Yen. That was the last one on my radar. Skype message. Aussie Yen next. And then we'll head around and see what else is out there. AUD, JPY. That said, I like the look of Aussie Yen 2 for tomorrow. We got some Aussie news coming out tonight, too. Busy news week, man. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm interested to see how the market reacts to the rate cut tomorrow. We haven't seen one in 8 years, 9 years, more than that, 10 years. It's be interesting. 11 years. I wonder if there's going to be a mass panic, if there's going to be excitement, if everyone's going to start spending more. Probably not. All right. Aussie yen on the daily. For the last month, it seems like, I was waiting for this structure shelf to be broken, and we're not going in that direction. We're going in the opposite direction, right? Just like the Aussie dollar, we are starting to fall. If we fall, we are likely to fall back down into this previous level of structure, which would offer a buying opportunity. Now this morning, just like the Aussie dollar, I had potential shorts on my radar. But yeah, I'd like to see this. The more I look at it, I'm not really interested in shorts. We're right into the junk here. We're right into the junk here. We could potentially push lower. Looks like a bat. Yeah, let's see. This may be a little bit short, but I think Enigma doesn't have it as one. Let's see. Old-fashioned fibs. Swing low to swing high right here. Yeah, like check your data. Just missed. Yeah, just missed. Close. So close. Like 2 pips, man. 2 pips off. Yeah, you're close. You're close. Yeah, you're close. Took me years to get these fib eyes. Ribeye. Any of you guys watch the show MasterChef? Not gonna go off on a rant. Just curious. Yeah, one of my favorite shows. You guys know I have a passion for cooking. I wanted to be a chef growing up, but a lot of your culinary schools didn't have sports teams. So, but me and my wife watch MasterChef all the time. One of our go-tos. I don't watch Junior MasterChef because I don't like kids doing stuff. So I get angry and jealous. So I don't support little kids doing stuff on TV. So yeah, it makes me mad. And then he treats them all soft, right? If you guys know Gordon Ramsay, right? He's a hardcore a-hole, right? He treats these kids all soft, from what I've seen. I'm not supportive of kids being on TV. Get out of there. Go to school. Some may call me a hater, but they should be in school, not on TV. Hate them kids, man. Told my wife if my kid ever made it on MasterChef Junior, I wouldn't watch him. Got to stick to my guns. Wouldn't even support my own kid. But yeah, Gordon. I mean, now here's if you want someone who is maximizing his value, Gordon Ramsay. You guys realize he has like 6 TV shows? You realize he's always on TV? Started off with Hell's Kitchen. There's MasterChef. There is the hotel show he had. There's the Hell on Wheels. He's probably got like 8 other shows. I feel like he can be in a soap opera as well. He's got like 5 shows on TV. He is. I like him as a businessman. Does little masterclass things as well. I learn about whenever I cook a new recipe. First thing I look for is on YouTube is Gordon Ramsay masterclass on like how to cook this type of fish or this type of chicken. It's like a 1-minute little tutorial. Yeah, he's got the new Nat Geo show. Yeah, he's I so much respect, and he stays fit too. I respect that. He stays fit. But he's someone that I'm a big fan of. Like he's maximizing his window. He sees this window of opportunity that he is in, and he is like, look, I am going to be everywhere until you get tired of me. Because typically things are like fads. Like I was thinking about Fortnite the other day. And George said, I hear he's a good guy off camera. He seems like he cares. Yeah, it seems like he actually cares. He's not just, he's about that money. Don't get me wrong. He's about that money. but he cares and wants to provide opportunities, and I've heard that too. But things are fads, man. Like whenever I think of stuff like Fortnite, and I'm like, man, like, and Fortnite has had a pretty long window, but a lot of things just have windows, and then you move on to the next thing. So it's like, if you're gonna have this window, maximize it. I look at that when I'm watching all these kids on YouTube. I told you the other day about one of the kids who watch Ryan's World, who's making like, whatever, $20 million a year off his YouTube channel. And I always think about it from a business perspective. I'm like, well, what happens when he's old and not cute anymore? Right? There's a specific window in which he can do what he can do. Right? He's cute and all until he gets like, what's the age when boys stop being cute? 10, double digits? Is that when you're not cute anymore? You got that weird like mustache thing coming in, little weird facial hair growing everywhere, and your voice is dark, deep, and right. So he's got probably from the age of like 4, right? Probably 4 when he's functional and can do everything. 4 to maybe like 8. So you got a 4-year window. So like people that think in the short term, they're just thinking about the next day. We're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do a video the next day. No, you got to be thinking about how to set yourself up for the future. So they've done a great job from what I've seen. I don't know much about them, but they've done a great job of not only doing these quality YouTube videos and making bank off of that, but growing an entire brand where they have toys and they have video games. We were in the Target the other day, the Target, because we fancy, and they have Ryan's World toys. That's growing a brand. Therefore, whenever he's too old to be doing it, I mean, they've got an established business. They also have 2 twin girls, which I'm sure will take over, but you guys get the point. Yeah, if you're in a business where you have a short-term time window, maximize it. Maximize it as much as you can. And that goes for the talk we had on the recession earlier, right? If we have this opportunity where the market's crashing, everything gets cheap, maximize that time. It's not going to last for long. Maximize it. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Gordon, I'd love to meet him. I'd probably be scared and nervous, but I'd love to meet him. I'd love to be on MasterChef, although I don't think I wouldn't make it, but I'd love to be on that show. That'd be fun. I don't think I can deal with the contestants. I think that's where I would falter. I'm not good at making stuff look good presentation wise, and I don't think I would deal with those contestants very well because some of them I just don't like, and I think there'd be some words to be had. But maybe that'll keep me on the show for ratings. Angry black guy throwing steak at people. Good for ratings. That'll keep me on the show. Ah, yeah. How about that? every episode, a steak's getting thrown. We could be cooking fish. I'll just find a random steak, slap someone with it. Ratings will go through the roof. You can't cut me if the ratings are high. I know how the entertainment works. Make them naked with a steak. There we go. That'd be my thing. Like, excuse me, Ramsey. I like to cook in the nude. So if you want me, you got to deal with that. So and that'll be my thing that'll keep me on there. Not sanitary at all. Oh yeah, Peter would probably be mad at me throwing steak at people. Yeah, it's already dead. So I mean, it's already dead. And veggie people are killing plants. Plants are living things. Nobody talks about that. Anyway, yeah, just sure no one wants to talk about that. Plants have feelings too. They really do. You're big with gardening stuff. Yeah, they really do have feelings, man. No one wants to complain when you're killing plants. You're picking berries off and eating them, like picking how's that any different from picking a finger off an animal and eating it? There is no difference. It's not humane. I'm going to start a movement. All right, so Aussie yen. Who's with me? Aussie yen. Yeah, I think we can go a little bit further down for shorts. Again, this is interesting. I was looking trend continuation earlier today, but the fact that we ran into this inside level of structure doesn't give me a lot of confidence that we can go lower. Now, if we were to go lower, perhaps 74.37s. So maybe on the lower time frames, we can find a low risk trend trading opportunity. But kind of like Aussie dollar, not as appealing as I thought it would be when we first looked at it. But let's take a look at the lower time frames and see what we can have here. But I just don't think, I don't think we're going to get anything here. Yeah, so nothing here. I thought we would have, but we didn't. All right, let's go around some of the major pairs real briefly. That aren't really doing anything. Euro dollar, I think it's needless to say, I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole this week. Where I don't think we're going to do anything until tomorrow. But even last week's what do we have? ECB press conference last week? Was it? Was that last week, guys? Well, these weeks are getting confused. We have ECB press conference last week? Yeah. I mean, look at this. This is a perfect example of the whipsaw. This is a perfect example of why you want to avoid certain fundamental events. Because this just took traders for a ride, right? I mean, imagine yourself here. You can see some lower time frames. What did we do? We went up I don't even know which way was first. But at some point, we went all the way down and we came all the way back up. And then we went all the way back down, then came all the way back up and went all the way back down again. And all that's happening in that moment is people are just getting chopped and chopped and chopped for their money. Best to stay away. Ridiculous. I can imagine the younger trader that's trying to catch both sides of it, where they keep being wrong. Can you imagine that, guys? Where they're looking at this and the trader is initially here and they're like, "Oh, we're going up. I gotta get long," right? And then this happens and they're like, "Oh no, gotta get short, right?" As the market goes against them, gotta get short, and the market does that. Whew, I'm on the right order, I'm on the right direction, and then it goes back up. Oh no, gotta get long again. Oh no, short, and they just keep going back and forth, getting slipped the entire time, and always a little bit too late. I could imagine. I mean, because it makes, I don't know if you guys have ever done that. If you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about, probably crying. But it makes perfect sense, right? This initial move, you're thinking bullish, right? So you get bullish and you get slipped to up here, right? And the market goes up, you're a little bit excited, you probably leave your computer, and then you come back and it's all the way down, right? Well, where do you start feeling pain at? Once price action takes you into a loss down here. So then you try to short and you probably get filled right here, and the market spikes down, you're happy, and then it goes right back up and you're like, oh crap. And then maybe you made something here, but most likely you're holding on to it because you're trying to make up for the other losses you took. And then it goes right back against you again. It's horrible. But isn't much to be mentioned. There's not much to be mentioned here on the euro dollar. So we'll kind of skip past this. Let's go to euro yen. These are some of the other major pairs that are in my portfolio, what I consider to be major pairs. But they just didn't have much on the radar for today. So I'm looking at euro yen here. We're consolidating. Again, price action has made equal highs here. Maybe this ends up being an ascending triangle. If so, that would actually be a positive trading opportunity. We talked earlier about the the wedge pattern and how that's kind of a neutral pattern where we don't really know whether we're expecting a move, a breakout to the upside or the downside. This pattern, what do we expect to break out to? Or which direction, I should say. This one, we should have a clear direction on what we expect the breakout to come. Yep, to the upward side. And again, the idea is that we're continuing to make equal highs. So the bulls are able to push price up to the same level, and although the bears are stopping it, the bulls are they're not losing any ground. On the other side, however, each time the bears or the sellers, try to push it down, they're getting less and less and less. The bulls are protecting it at a higher and higher and higher level until eventually the bears just give up and are like, look, this is pointless. We keep putting all this effort into pushing something down, and we're getting a less result from it. And they just give up and fight for another day. And when you see that give up, two things happen. Not only does the buying pressure take over, But the sellers, to get out of their orders, they must buy. So there's buying pressure that's flooding in from both sides of the markets. Buyers are buying because they want to buy. Sellers are buying because they want to get out of their short positions. So that would be a nice little breakout pattern if that continues. But we will see. And this would be one, again, if we get a touch, another touch and a pullback, this would be one where it wouldn't be a bad opportunity to look to involve yourself kind of at the bottom of that trend line. Or, of course, if you're more conservative, you can always wait for the confirmed break and then look for an opportunity afterwards. But as of right now, there's not too much on there. I suppose something to look for as well would be if we can break this level. If we can violate these lows, we're likely to continue back down to about 120.50s. That's not a great amount of opportunity, but it is there for maybe an intraday trader. I'm just going to write euro, dollar, euro, yen. Let's go to, hold on 1 second. Euro yen was about what, 120, 141? Let's go to pound yen. Surprised you haven't looked at that. That's usually one that has pretty good opportunity. Pound yen here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, pound yen. Same kind of bearish move that we saw in the pound dollar. We may want to revisit the pound dollar as well to see what's happening. But we've come down to test structure, previous structure lows. Pretty much the same opportunity as the pound dollar, where I would be looking for some type of counter trend trading opportunity unless we break these lows. Now, if we do break these lows, if we do violate these lows, I should say, we can look to press. We could look to press, I would say, at a minimum to 130s. Minimum to 130s. With a potential to 129. So 129s and 130s would be the levels I think we can go to if we can break this level. So just to give you an idea, we're trading at 131.44. So about 1 to 200 pip room to the downside if we can violate that level. So trend continuation traders, that's something that you do want to have on your radar. You want to say, okay, well, if then. If we violate these lows, then that's the next move. Some of you guys are probably upset because you just missed. Who remembers this move? Who remembers this trend continuation bat pattern? That never quite got there. Did we talk about this? Maybe it was just me. It might have been just personal analysis, but 886. Yeah. That's the sound you make when you check your chart. You come in, you're like, you hear in the chat, hey guys, pound yen's falling. You're like, oh crap, we got that bat pattern. We go, oh yeah. I don't want to talk about it. Hey Chris, did you catch the pound yen? I don't want to talk about it. It's like, and this isn't a missed opportunity because it never actually filled, but it reminds me of my dad had this thing once where he works for the housing department of Philadelphia, and they do like an office pool for like the lottery, right? Everyone puts in a certain amount of money, and they buy lottery tickets, and the idea is if everyone, if they ever win, they split it between the whole group. And I remember they won once. It wasn't anything like crazy, but they won once, and they kept doing it, and one guy won it out. One guy got upset because he's like, hey, I didn't give you guys permission to do this. I blah, 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 blah. I don't want to be involved in this pool anymore. So they gave him like $10 back, whatever he gave back. He won it out, right? And like a week later, they won. And, so everyone in the office is celebrating. Oh, yeah, we won. Everybody's excited. And then there's the one guy that's like, yeah. Really wish I wouldn't have took my $10 out because now I would have won a couple hundred. So that would have been the feeling here if everyone is excited about the pound yen falling and you just missed by 10 pips. But it stinks, but it's life. It is life. It is a good no trade because it did not meet the rules. But Again, you can look for the same thing here as pound dollar. You can look for a potential counter trend trading opportunity, perhaps a double bottom. Just by the looks of it, it doesn't look like we're going to get it. We could, but just I think we're going to get some type of nasty, choppy type of consolidation instead. But if we do get it, a good level to shoot for, in my opinion, is right up here, about 132.85s. That's going to be a quality level. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We can certainly get the double bottom. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying based on how price is moving so far, I have a feeling that we're going to just kind of like do one of these deals and just mosey on up. But stay prepared. Stay prepared. Now, again, the real opportunity is if we break that level on the daily. That's going to, again, technically you're on the right side for shorts. Fundamentally, you're on the right side for shorts. I think that's a good opportunity. Questions on pound yen? Dollar yen next. Got a busy day, Akil. Dollar yen, waiting for a break of this yellow line. Not much I care about until we break this yellow line. So that's why this wasn't on the radar this morning. There's not anything that I see we can do until we break that yellow line. Unless we break that yellow line, I should say. It's just BOJ, bunch o junk. That's what it stands for. You can look for a head and shoulders pattern here if you're looking for a short entry on the 60. Not your prettiest in the world, but the same concept. Left shoulder, head, retest to the neckline here. If we put in the right shoulder, you look for a head and shoulders opportunity to get short. But as of right now, there's nothing of interest here on the dollar yen. That was a good TV series. Person of interest. That was a good one. We've been having lots of discussions lately about great TV series as I've been going back and rewatching Breaking Bad. Perhaps my favorite TV series of all time. Did a poll. Sons of Anarchy was up there. The Wire was a good one. Sopranos. Any classics you guys like? Orange is the New Black just put out a new season. I liked House of Cards until Kevin Spacey started doing the weird things. Oh, Narcos was good. Prison Break. Yeah, I like Prison Break. I want to get really tatted after Prison Break. Prison Break was good. I like Narcos, yeah. Did you ever watch Real Narcos, Joseph? The Real Narcos? I think it's called Real Narcos. I am almost exclusively into sci-fi. Give me some, Anthony. I love sci-fi stuff, but I don't think I've watched any series. I watch a lot of stuff on TV, but they're not a lot of series. I heard Flash is good, yeah. Watch Real Narcos. That's good. It's a guy that goes undercover into the real actual stuff that's going on. It's pretty cool. Black Mirror. I haven't heard of Black Mirror. What's your goal was good. Are they bringing back another Lost in Space? The redo of Lost in Space? What is Black? Yeah, your name. I need to hold on. I need to write these down, Anthony. Hold on. I know The Flash. Black Mirror. I feel like I've heard of that, but I know I haven't watched it yet. I never heard of Timeless. There's a new Twilight Zone. I skipped the first episode of Black Mirror. Why is that? Is it going to weird me out? Then I'm going to feel like I haven't. I'm going to feel like I missed something. Kind of like a Twilight Zone. Okay. I like stuff like that. Oh, Stranger Things is great. Oh, we had a good conversation on the chat about someone didn't like it. And the last one. Doctor Who, yeah. I watched the original Doctor Who's. We used to watch that growing up with my dad. I used to be scared of I forget what they're called, the Daleks. Used to be freaked out. George said the first episode of Dude and a Pig Get It On. All right. That's okay. I did watch Smallville. There's another one. What's another one I watched? It was about this nuclear explosion that was supposed to happen somewhere in like Iowa, and they saved the guy. The famous black actor guy's in it. I know that. I forgot his name though. But yeah, I watched Smallville. All right. I got so many on my list. I never have time to watch any of these. I haven't seen Chernobyl. No, I was going to, but it was on. It's HBO, wasn't it? I thought it was on Amazon Prime for some reason. Jack Ryan was good. And I didn't. I had the HBO subscription, the freebie, and I don't have HBO now, and I'm sure I can just find it online somewhere. But I did want to see Chernobyl. Librarians, yeah. Umbrella was it Umbrella Corporation, not Umbrella. That was a Netflix one. Umbrella something. Umbrella Academy. I'll be set for them. I'll be set for days when I get old and have nothing better to do. Watch TV. Money Heist is on my list. They keep shoving that in my face on Netflix. Money Heist is on my list. So we'll put that on. All right, thank you guys. You guys got so many. I'm sure I'll ask again in like a week. But I tried to write down as much as I could. Oh, The Americans. That was a good one. I never finished that though. Siren, Shadowhunters. Man, you got a lot of them. Well, you don't sleep, Anthony. That's why. All right, Shadowhunters. I like a good intriguing show. I also like space. I like stuff about space. Space and stars and stuff that makes me feel really, really small. I'm going to watch this stuff when I prepare to storm Area 51. That way I'll be well informed. I've been practicing my Naruto run. Oh yeah. Never gonna hit. It can't stop all of us. We gonna get them aliens. All right. That's still funny. Until everyone dies. Dollar Canada. And again, we're at the point where we don't have too much going on, but we're working our way around the market. Here on the daily, you can make a case for a potential Gartley that is forming. So daily chart, Dollar Canada. If you look here, potential Gartley at 129.06. I'm gonna get this over into the chat as well. USD CAD daily. Oh. Potential, excuse me, bull Gartley, what did I say, 129.04? 129.06, right? Oh, it's right in front of my screen. Doug Keel, 129.06, yes. Me so smart. Come on, upload a file, baby. Dollar Canada, where you at? There you go. Boom. Perfect. There's a potential bat on the hourly as well. All right, we'll head down to the lower time frames. All right, so that's what's up on the daily. Again, there's not, aside from that on the daily, there's not, Canada's been junk. A very disappointing pair all year. We've been waiting for a lot, or I've been waiting for a lot on Canada, and none of it has actually developed. There was one opportunity I was looking for. I got skunked out barely, and then it went on to do what I thought, and then it's been doing nothing after that. So I think I literally have there's been a few. It's been good for smaller pattern formation. Let's back up some. There's been a few good lower time frame pattern formations, but Canada's a small pair, so those lower ones have been like targets of like 15 pips or 20 pips, something like that. None of the bigger swing trading opportunities on my radar have played out. But you see 240 not too much going on. We're running up against previous structure resistance. We're about to, so blah, 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 blah. But we go down to the 60. Potential bull bat. Give me an X leg here. Did we break that? We did. Let's see if Enigma gets it up. You're looking at this, X to A to B, B to C, and C to D. So here's what Santosh is looking at on the dollar Canada 60-minute chart. You may have a small cipher as well. He's taking my fib out. Oh, nope, just gonna miss. All right. Any questions on dollar Canada? Aussie dollar is sinking again. Real quick, let me just do a quick check over at pound dollar. See what's happening here. One of the first ones we took a look at this morning. Not really doing anything. Pound's not really doing anything. Aussie dollar's sinking, but that's the one that never gave us the move. And the move would have been up here, and that still wouldn't have been a move. So doing what we thought it would do, it just never really gave us an opportunity to get involved. All right, let's go to Kiwi, New Zealand dollar next. NZD USD 156. All right, we'll go to the daily here on New Zealand dollar. Going to be very similar to Aussie dollar, opportunity to get short. But the daily chart, you can see we're tracing back down where we like it to go to, right back into structure. So we're at that daily zone on the structure, We're at that daily, we're at that structure zone on the daily, excuse me. This would be the level in which I would expect a potential reversal to occur at if we were to get one. If we can break past this wick, then I would expect that price action continues a little bit lower, down to about 65 cents. Now, as we go down to the 240, again, you can see trend continuation opportunity, but we're already essentially at the destination. So a nice trend trading opportunity. We just put in lower low, lower close a couple candles ago, but we're already at the destination. So a perfect example of the move has already been made. So unfortunately, that's gonna kill any opportunities here on New Zealand dollar. All right. Are there any other pairs you guys want to take a look at? I'm gonna head over to TradingView real quick and take a look at gold and oil. There's nothing there this morning, but it's been a while. But if there's any other pairs you guys want to take a look at, let me know. We can take a look at them. What's Bitcoin doing? I'll never follow it. Yeah, gold, oil still doing nothing. Ranging. Gold ranging. Someone tried to sell me on Bitcoin the other day. Random Facebook message. Hi. How are you? Good. Where do you live? USA. This guy was funny though, because he said this. He said, I see we have a lot in common. And then he said, what do you do? Now that series of questions doesn't make sense. That comment and that question doesn't make sense. If you see that we have a lot in common, then don't you know what I do? So what do we have in common? Yep. That's one of the things I hate about Facebook. And again, I would, if I wasn't too deep down the rabbit hole, I would not accept any friend requests. But every once in a while, it is an actual person. It is an actual person who is looking for help or something like that. So I just accept everyone and I just delete them as soon as they message me right away. See, we have a lot in common. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, you must be talking about storming Area 51. Yeah. Which group are you going with? I'm going to Naruto run. Are you going to throw rocks? Can't stop us all. Let's get them aliens. There you go. That's my new response to everything. What do you do for a living? I'm an Area 51 stormer. I specialize in Naruto running. Can't stop all of us. Let's get them aliens. That's how I'm signing off every message from now on. Remember, can't stop all of us. Let's get them aliens. Perfect. All right. If there's nothing else, we are going to call it a day. I've got a busy day lined up. I got a test I got to take, which if I fail it, it's a test I got to take. I can take it every day, but only once a day. So I've got one more section to pass, and I got to take it before the end of the month. So I have to take it again today in case I fail it. I've got an interview a podcast interview at 11, which should be interesting. And then I got to start the PowerPoint for the continuation of the course. Anthony says, Akil, I have found a lot of times the scammer pages have virtually no content. I always check the Facebook. Yep, that's the first thing I do as well. I check the profile pic. I check the Facebook. 'Cause a lot of them, too, are the people that are trying to like, hey, how are you? They try to sell you sex or whatever like that. Yep. So I do the same thing, yep. Now someone's coming to oh, real estate deal. That's another thing I gotta do today. Gosh. Busy day. All right. I'll get this up to you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great day. Take care.